Hello, my name is Kirioth, and today we're going to talk about the Nintendo Switch and how, whilst it does look okay, I won't be purchasing one because I don't need to look to the future for what Nintendo is providing with the Switch. Yeah, it seems impressive on paper until you realise that everything that they're talking about has been done before. You can get all of that portability, all of that use, all of that battery life. You can get that from old tech. And once you realise that, the Nintendo Switch, it loses its appeal, it loses its sparkle, its shine, and it becomes alright. I give to you, as example one, of stuff that can do what the Switch can do, and more, this. This is a Dell brick. This is a Dell Inspiron 1720, and it is worth at least like £5, maybe £7. £7.50 if you find a mug who's willing to part with his hard-earned money. But it's not £300, it's not $360. Oh no, this is a cheap entertainment system. It's just as much on the go, it's just as powerful, that's probably a lie. It's just as good for playing games on, that's also a lie. But the key thing here is cost and age versus like efficiency and features. I mean, let's look at what the Nintendo Switch can do, right? Let's talk communications. You cannot communicate with people via the Switch. There's no communication thing involved in that. It's not possible. It cannot be done. Nintendo doesn't want it to be done. If there is some sort of service by which you can contact people whilst playing games on the Switch, it's going to be done with one of these things, which is a phone, by the way. But you already knew that. I don't know why I specified that. But you could argue that is dumb because I'm holding the thing that Nintendo are going to want you to use to contact people. So all they're doing is using a phone as a phone. That's not that impressive to me. But this glorious monstrosity here with its shitty battery that's not fucking standard, is it? What the hell is that? But this thing here, you could install anything on this if you wanted to. You could have Skype, you could have is AIM still a thing? MSN Messenger, you could have MSN Messenger. That's definitely not a thing anymore. I'm sure this could run a Google Hangout, because, you know, people love that. I'm sure this could run a Google Hangout for at least like 10 minutes before it overheated and exploded. It could do that. Can the Switch do that? By design, it cannot. And that's not on. In fact, speaking of other things that the Switch can't do, as far as we know, as far as I've found out, and as far as I've seen other people complain about, there's no such thing as Netflix on the Switch. Or like the BBC iPlayer. Or those are the only things I use. Amazon Prime, maybe? Although their app's shit. What about like a Hulu? Hulu's a thing, just not in this country. The Switch can't do that. This can. And look at this, right? The fucking Switch, it's got a little tablet screen, hasn't it? Because it's small and portable. We'll get onto that in a second, though. This. Look at the fucking screen. Look at the screen on that. Look at it. It's massive. It's fucking massive, that is. That's like a full-on monitor to take away with you. Let's talk about the portability. The taking away of the thing. This is so fucking big and unwieldy, it's just ridiculous. So, let's talk about the portability. You're sitting there, you're playing your Nintendo Switch in your living room. It's all grand, it's all dandy, all fantastic. Suddenly, the wilds call to you. Nature is like, oi dickhead, go outside. And you're like, oh well, nature has called me to her glorious wilderness. I must vacate my comfortable seat on the sofa and get the fuck out. But I want to continue gaming. I want to keep playing this. I want to keep... I was going to say watching this, but you can't watch anything like this, so that isn't true. I want to keep gaming. So let's go. You got to stand up, which you would do anyway. Walk over, get your Switch out of its little cradle thing, stick your little Joy-Con things, which as far as I can tell are about the same size as this handy transistor USB stick, which is not very comfortable to use as a control. This wouldn't be comfortable to use as a controller. I mean,
when a stroke strikes, the damage spreads like a fire in the brain.
So you plug them in. You're like, okay, I'm on my way. This though, this is even easier if such a thing were possible. So you're sitting there, you're playing away. This is how you play games, obviously. This is how I play games, which is why I'm shit at them. And you're like, oh, I've got to go outside. I've been summoned to the great outdoors. Done. And then what you do is, like the Switch, you just stick it in your pocket. Just stick it Just stick it in your pocket like that. Yeah. There you go. Stick it in your pocket, and off you go. So, like the Switch, the ancient laptop, it's got portability. It's got more features. It can contact people. You can call people on it. You can communicate with people. You can't with the Switch. You can watch films. You can't with the Switch. Let's talk about games, alright? Now that's the big draw of the Switch, obviously. People want the Switch because it plays games. But I ask you, what can the Switch play that this couldn't play? Eh? Answer me that question. Well, loads of stuff, actually. This is an absolute bag of shit. It wouldn't be able to play anything that the Switch can play beyond the NES and SNES games that you'll get once a month. Speaking of which, actually, the SNES and NES games, get an emulator. Just get an emulator. That's the way round it. Just get an emulator. I'm not condoning piracy, obviously, but get an emulator. This weighs a fucking ton. Get an emulator. Stick it on the laptop. You're good to go. You can play any game from that era that you like. Any NES game, any SNES game. I don't know anything about emulators. Dreamcast? Can they do Dreamcast ones? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The choice is there. The choice is there. You could play games on this if you wanted to. And there'd still be Nintendo games if that's what you really wanted, which if you get a Switch, I assume you probably do want that. So, portability. It's got it. Versatility. It's got it. Price. It's cheap as fuck because it's old and terrible. Style. Let's talk about stylistic points. It's black. Look, that's black. That's a nice matte black. That. It's maybe not quite as slim as the Switch. It probably doesn't have quite. Yeah, I think the Switch is thinner than just the lid, which I admit is a point against it in the pros and cons list of things for the Switch, and the Dell in toilet, whatever the fuck this is. But what I'm saying is, the Switch, it looks okay, but I can't be excited about it because we've got so many other things that do the same thing. You know, why would I go out and spend 300 quid when I could literally get this off my parents because it no longer works for free to use in a video? Why on earth would I bother to buy a Switch if I could get something like this, something that can do a bit of everything? I mean, it's just no contest. So, if you're sitting there, you're clutching your hard-earned money in your fist, you've got it in your wallet, what you need to do is think to yourself, do I want to spend 300 quid on something to play Breath of the Wild on? Or do I want to spend 10 quid on something that can do so much more? And, you know, it'll last a good 2 months before you have to buy a new one. That's not a bad lifespan, really. I think it's a good trade-off. I just don't think the Switch is worth it. Not when we have such beautiful relics of a time gone by as these that fill the same niche, that fill the same requirement in our daily lives. Thank you very much for watching. If you like that video, then like the video. I've no idea what the fuck that video was, but it was fun to make and I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you'd like, and there's another video for you to click on right there. And if you want to take a look at my Patreon page, then you can do. It's entirely up to you. No one's going to force you to do it. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Toodaloo. What a fucking dumb video. Jesus Christ.